Good evening, everybody. I'm the Sith Trader. Welcome to another OX open. It looks like we've got a decent opening range, kind of a quick move, and a little bit of a 1 minute opening channel, but we did retest that low from Friday's session in the afternoon and into the close. So all in all, pretty good range so far. The market to be opening up with today. Remember, trading features involves risk and is not suitable for all investors and everybody. Everything I talk about here today is just my opinion and not a direct trade recommendation. We'll let this 10-minute opening range set up. Sit back and chill out for another nice and easy, relaxing Sunday night. Take a step back and look at some of the bigger time frames here. See a little bit of a trend line off the highs from Friday. Certainly have a decent range with that 29,100 area kind of to the downside. I want to see us break through that, obviously, and come back to the VWAP for a good selling opportunity. We're setting up opening range highs still, and really don't have much in the way of resistance again until some of these proven levels up around 29,400. So plenty of range to the upside if the market wants to expand. I guess what I'm getting at is there's a decent range for the market to play in tonight. We'll see how it trades. The strength here, though, right after the open, obviously trade deals with China. I'm coming home with a couple, would feel like a little bit more like moral victories than anything else, but there's going to be some optimism in the market that those are going to help. I don't know why the market would be optimistic personally, but on that alone, that you need to end the conflict in Iran first. But I guess this is all from a geopolitical perspective and a chance for that to happen and play out. We don't really care all too much for looking at this from a very technical perspective anyway. We are downside level 29,100 to break now. Set up for a potential move lower. And obviously more probably now 29,280-ish. Hope everyone had a good weekend. And yeah, JMU, I would say, it's probably a micro night. It's a big range already, 100, almost, right? It's trying to be a 200-point range here. Looks like crude's a little higher, isn't it? Dollar something right now. I'm not trading it, but that doesn't exactly scream conflict with Iran is over, does it? Watching the VWAP from the prior day session here that we kind of came up into as resistance, don't get me wrong. You break above it. I feel like that's a good technical signal too, right? All that work from Friday. Then the market's trying to, get back and establish a lower range that it was failing to. All-time highs are, of course, not too far away either, right? So, but at these levels, you almost prefer the run to all-time highs and a VWAP pullback to give you the setup into it. We will see. Word on the street, though, Lucid's back to 50% off. Also, that code's now a few other places, which is cool, but hey. Pretty strong open range is still intact there at 28,833. Kind of want to see a push above that. Friday's VWAP as well, just because, hey, we're sitting right there. It's also for the little bit of congestion mode. They wish, hey, for the market to fall out into it, but set up the setup. Continue to watch for volume and confirmation here so that we're not just warping into setups. Friday was a little Thursday night setup, I should say. One of those days where it did well, right, sitting out from the first head fake. And not a true break of battle, but opening range lower. But always for the market to come up, break the opening range higher. Not give us any participation to be off, and then really become genuinely a pretty good sell after that, which that's tough. Looks like tested the VWAP gear for the session. Maybe pops the top. I'm going to need another pullback to the VWAP tonight. Not to say that can't happen, but where I do wish we would have had a nice little break already, right? If it's giving you the reaction you would want to see, but we shall see. Maybe tonight's just going to be a poker away. Which, might be a reason that we go to micros and we don't even have a treat tonight. Even though Lucid's 50% off, it doesn't mean you force anything. It is tempting though, isn't it? But it is a deep discount to just start YOLOing. Particularly if you're in evil jail, right? That would be the most ridiculous thing to do if you're funded. But that was always my beef with Apex. The cost of Apex bounces so small at the evaluation level. You can't treat them like other accounts. I mean, you should, but my point being is you can get away with being a little more riskier to try to pass them more quickly. Just that trailing drawdown is absolutely the worst. But they have taken care of that for some people, so. That's wild, right? You sort of see all of this like prop for money get out into the real marketing world, sponsoring teams and a Lucid gun in a NASCAR recently, right? That's crazy. I mean, just goes to show you how successful they are, right? They're the kind of spending money.
Darling dear, you never hear when I'm in pain, you hide and disappear like shadows in the atmosphere, charting the stratosphere.
Alright, looking like an initial test of the view of it. Not gonna lie, I'd prefer to see a market chop out a bit and then break one way, because we have a definitive participation, you know, and then one side kind of gets squeezed. I'm very hesitant on the short, right, but it tends to take the start off bullish. All-time highs are above, right? We haven't had much success with, I guess there was one good short recently, but the idea being, right, is that shorts from all-time highs and all these other things are not necessarily your right favorite place to be. But we'll see if there's solid participation, if there's solid, you know, volume and order flow we can use to confirm with it. Best you can do. No, so down that disregarding at first. That first candle here, mainly because it was just a test of this flow from the afternoon session, right? Like, ignoring that first candle has to come with context. You know, if we had the first candle had started here and we just went straight up, we could talk about it, right? But the first 1 minute candle actually traded a decent range that we had been in from the afternoon session. Really just swept that range. So the market's all, for all intents and purposes, kind of just picking up where it left off on Friday is what it feels like. So the price action today means something because of not just that level, but of course this level from like the New York Open as well on Friday. So the context that candle is simply part of really a broader range in this 29,100 level that seems like a tough nut to crack and pretty supportive at this point. If it does go, when we find ourselves below it, coming back up to meet the VWAP, you know, that's a natural technical sell. Because you broke at support, headed lower, bit of a bounce towards, you know, back in the mean reversion. There's the narrative we can chew onto, and that candle doesn't affect that narrative. But I mean, anytime you see one like that, you kind of want to second guess it. And I would say this, that if it was just a candle straight up from the open, no price discovery, just blast through some level, makes it a little harder to account it, so to speak, or, you know, you become a little more justified, and you're skipping or sitting it out. Doing something worth, you know, to reset, you know, watching that second minute low just for the sake of it, but yeah, I'm not. It would probably be getting you into a short here, or very close to it, right? And I think it's a little aggressive for the time being. We'll see. Unfortunately, what we think and what I think doesn't really matter, does it? But the context that there's definitely some support here and a larger level that seems to have been holding since, you know, basically Friday morning. There's traders attached to it still. I mean, that's like anything in trading, right? Like, there are so many things that are contextual to and subjective to the moment, but you're trying to place an objective trading system to a market that's ever changing, right? Like, no two opens are ever the same. So, what, you know, how do you objectively follow the exact same rules every time? Forcesweep gives you a really good, grounded narrative to discuss, right? Contextually, how does it play out within bigger support and resistances? How you finish on Friday, Friday's EWAP, for example, or the prior day's levels? All those things I think matter. And again, that will also keep you evolving as a trader. Not to say you have to jump ship and change what you do in every single day, right? And you're never really settling on a plan, but as you guys see, just following the Forcesweep in and of itself you're gonna have a drawdown, gonna beat you up at times. There's gonna be times you're like, well, geez, if we had just done this, or this, it would perform so much better. I promise you, no matter what system you trade, what methodology you use, you will always fall victim to the self-actualization, self-fulfilling prophecies. It's a fancy way of saying you want to get better. And if that starts to become a role rather than it would improve it rather than just making money, right? It could, and I shouldn't say fall victim because that's a hard way of saying it, because naturally you should try to self-actualize, get better, always improve, always learn, always adapt. But at least within the context of your plan as a trader. And genuinely for most people, it's like just identifying, I think, times where I just don't want to be part of this price action and sitting out more than anything. And that's primarily because my problem as a trader is I will always be able to find something to do, for better or worse, right? So at this point, right, it half feels like we rallied up. This like bull flaggish type price action, and VWAP's getting played with. I like seeing participation at first touch, then coming down. I like seeing the move back up, right? What do we call this little function here? You start to go above the VWAP here. I mean, this can be basically a long sweep to new highs kind of thing. Fact. Check it out. Check out what that volume participation looked like here on the way down. What are guys doing? Wait, I have to adjust. I wish these things would always show. We're just right. So, okay, we had actually real decent volume to start off there, right? Like, found some contracts in the opening move. Boy, it just shot right up. 400, 300, 200, 400. What the heck? Of course, it's doing this to me. There we go. 400, 600, 500, 400, 200, 300. So then all of a sudden you see volume really taper off, right? Really taper off up here. Anyway, that's selling pressure, not very big. Down into the VWAP, then somebody comes in and it's like, yeah, we're gonna buy this up. Jacks it up. Market comes back down. Get decent volume push below the VWAP. I'm willing to bet, yep, 500 cars down here, 300, 200, not a ton, not this big. It's that initial candle kind of thing, but like, yeah, if I had a seller who sold off down here and got a little trap, look at this guy. There's a solid few hundred car contracts right down here that I'm, basically below 195. Then that guy gets squeezed back up into the VWAP. Market tests above. We're right back below the VWAP though here, so that's not a really good look in the short term, but if this market's going higher, but we'll see. push back above the VWAP on decent volume and accept it's above. They might, like the onwards to the highs, right, break up kind of a trend line down here. We'll see. Clear trend line for the day against the highs. But right now, the VWAP's coming in as resistance. And where's my data? Come on. There we go. Not a huge, like, trap buyer up here, though. Actually, really lackluster participation from even the sell side. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll be surprised to see us dance around the VWAP for a little bit, trading with like 100 to 200 contracts of a 1 minute candle until it finally like gives you that volume signal, which if I was to bet right now, which way does it go? Gonna be a 400 contract burst through this trend line higher. This could like it just seems like a natural target. However, VWAP's holding. DVD was bullish, or has been kind of holding up here and building a little bit, so that's kind of why I've biased a little bit for an upside move. And generally, just kind of the trend of the evening so far had been some significant buying, right? Like, what I'm getting at is that this initial volume push on the day, which all of this can get changed in a second, as we saw, like on Thursday night. These were very big. You know, each one of these 1 minute candles was like twice as much volume as what we're seeing right now, right? Those are not small. Those not small buying on the way up, which could be trap fires for like a push lower, right? So far, that's kind of what's happening. Hello, sweet, beautiful. Now, let's see if I was right about my expectation for a 400 contract. Bar that blows through the candle. Oh, 568. Dang. Yeah, I mean, that's basically the roast. Sure. That's the thing. Alright, now it's going to be probably straight up through that high, and then we're going to be pull back into the VWAP kind of thing. Let's see what happens.
hasn't changed, yeah. You don't see it, but I can feel it everywhere. It's funny how things change in an instant. Doesn't take much thinking, but everyone can feel the air. Do you know I'm fading, fading from you? I can't say it, I hate the truth, boy. Underwater, there's no room to breathe in. Getting colder, I'm a fighter, but I've lost the will to. I'm so much smaller. It's funny how things change in an instant. Doesn't take much thinking, but everyone can feel the air. Do you know I'm fading, fading from you? I can't say it, I hate the truth, boy.
Well, patiently waiting for a little bit of a opening range break here. Dance around the V1 a few times. We're seeing participation 8 seconds above. Or it's tempting to buy the VWAP or, break under these highs just for the push to renew their highs, but that's mainly because every push higher we've seen has been on decent volume. Tough. Gotta wait. Yeah, Nico could buy on, how the market's shifting around a different moving average right now in the EMA. Inside just drives the anxiety up. I'm going to the next one. I think I made 20 seconds left. I couldn't even take that way to work. My bad, guys. Ladies and gentlemen.
But I don't wanna be on my own. It always goes much better in my head, but the feelings end up wasted. So I'm sorry for breaking down when you said you got me. I'm used to being let down, but I'm hoping if I'm falling too fast, then you'll catch me. You'll catch me. So I'm sorry that you might have to see I'm not flawless.
You'll patiently waiting for that opening range break. BWAP is getting another test here. After solid participation on a bid up and through that level, by the way, right? That was bid 568 volume bar, followed with some decent falls through, and then waning volume and participation. They're right back down to the BWAP we go. You know, if it were to sweep back, you know, above their 3-minute candle highs, that's some good volume. Maybe that's how you get a push higher here, but we end up below it, right? You know, we could be reversing the day and heading down to take out the lows, so careful here. Yeah, the mean is being reverted to.
I'm so afraid that you'll run out of patience. Trust me, I know how it feels to be hopelessly waiting. Sometimes I don't know if I can even change, but I'm still
Actually kind of like the build here in CVD. Right up there. Okay. You can kind of see a baseline building. Obviously we sweep through there. That's where we flush out today and things get ugly, but right now, I had decent baseline kind of building here. Let's see what happens. Be right there. It's a nice old thing. Wife's calling me to go watch one of the little ones right now. It's a really good time for me to step away. Actually, not the biggest volume push there. I would like to see him make another 400 contract type push, but hey, take out the highs, give us an orb sweep higher. And we'll have a setup to start the day with. Ooh, right back down we go. Let's see. Gosh, in here. Wow. Opening range really getting chopped up. Move around that BWAP. Right back down to these prior lows here. A decent biome. Push into it. Wow, look at the retracement back. What are their divergence here? With swing low to swing low now in the DVD. Someone's getting trapped down here. I need back over the VWAP. Looks ugly. Yeah, see now there's a 460 push lower. But then this candle here comes in right away and just reversing that. Wow, let's get take it all the way back to the highs. There it really goes. They say that because like somebody really tried to break it. You're now starting to push back below the VWAP and the 3 minute. Yeah, look at that 3 minute. These white numbers are the point of control for these candles, so you're back above the point of control. After a vicious sweep lower, this is the type that maybe force pushes through the high kind of thing. And that's what you look for. Look for that trap on one side below, on the wrong side of the VWAP. Push through, kind of get long with momentum for the push to highs. That can be a precursor to the Forcesweep type setup. CBD positive divert is here so far. But, no, rejection, and it right back down to those. Holy cow. I mean, so this is now just chop fest inside of the opening range. It always had been. Whoa, we'll take back up. What is this? I mean, these are 10, 15 point swings. These aren't huge, but rather fast for this time of the night. Volume control is still on a hammer. This hangman candle that legit out on the last one. I'd say push back, but the VWAP will probably go back to test highs, but again, this is a bit of a chop test for now. 15 minute candles though are building lower lows, or higher lows I should say. All of this can change in a heartbeat, but so far. Like sideways to slightly out bias right now, right? Slightly out because we've spent a lot of good time and participation above the VWAP. Every time we come back to low, it's feeling very trappy right now. All of that can end if you don't get the participation that pushes you through. All of a sudden, everybody up here becomes a cannon fodder, for the move lower. And we've seen that recently. Actually, Thursday was exactly like this. It showed good participation, acceptance of the VWAP, and looked good, and then that ended up being the trap, right? I don't know, I'm cynical when I think about the market. I'm always thinking about how is the market trying to screw the largest number of people over. It's an evil thing, the market is.
Through the night and morning,
Another little trend line here against the highs. The type of trades I take, but you know I'm not ignorant to trend lines and their value to price action, particularly on tick charts. Time-based charts a little more. What's the word? Arbitrary. When you take time out of the equation and you look at a tick chart, they're truly just looking at participation. Ooh, failure to kind of hang out above the view up here. Well, I shouldn't say that. We come right back down to test it, right? It's just can't make a decision on direction. Let me tell you in the next 15 minutes, now that we've closed out the first hour of trade, that first hourly candle, it's subtle above technically the view up for now. Or at it, right at the view up, I should say, right? Mine doesn't really count. And now you're back below it. Still building. I hope this isn't setting up for a bear trap, bull trap, we should say. I mean, market goes higher, gives us a setup, right?
Karma's got a thing for me. We hold hands, make plans, keep the receipts. Karma, she's my best friend. One step closer, here's how it ends. Karma's got a thing for me. You see, you'll be digging up 6 feet. Karma's never let me down. My smile will kill when I cut you out.
What's up? AC Trades in the house tonight. But pretty sideways price action here. Little mean reversion to the VWAP is a understatement tonight. Volume, I could only assume here has been, well, I actually see it right here, has been waning a little bit over the last few minutes. Top of that, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern hour. Didn't give us much in the way of participation yet. Shrinking volume all around the average price for the day. If I were a betting man, we're going to start expanding this range soon. Feels like the market's slowly getting accepted below and a VWAP here. Like I said earlier, as much as this market looks like in the very short term, it was trying to make that move higher on the day. Opening push into the VWAP, struggled, got back above it with some good volume, and hang on to it, and now we're below the figures. take much. This marked the start. I had a bit lower, even though in my heart of hearts, it feels like it wants to go higher. They're all-time highs, right? Got a little bit of a bias while you're up there until you start a true bear trend. What? Long story short, we're still waiting for that 10-minute opening range break. In fact, after you remove that one first minute candle, it is interesting to see that this 29,195 area kind of is becoming a supportive low, that if it were to break, you could genuinely see a move back towards, and here it goes. Back to the VWAP before, going lower or something, but not the trade I'm going to end up taking today. But I hope it doesn't mean I missed something. It does say London. Whoosh, follow. Getting heavy. They're like why that? But squeeze lower from a little trend line against them. Billy Nig will want to sell it on momentum. They could have probably just captured a good 20-point slide there, but that's okay. For what I'm here to do, if this was like the New York Open, if this wasn't the Clodex Open right now in such a slow choppy session, that lower, that thing just doesn't take rocket scientists to see. It's a line in the sand here over the last, hour. That probably is going to get some momentum lower, right? Okay. Either way, fun and games until somebody pokes their eye out. So now we have a new lower today in the CBD. Certainly this volume, this push lower was probably on decent volume. Actually, you can see the volume spike here. So let's see what it looked like in the quick footprint. Oh yeah, plenty control here, coming in around 29,180. Can't even get back above that level. Like you're back below. You're quick. 700 cars trade. I mean, it's not just 700 either, right? It's decent. 193, 523, 398. So it's like 400, 500, 400, 700. Now round, but almost up to 400 down here again. There'll be a lot. It's gonna all be sellers, getting really trapped with a head of lows of the day. Basically inside of the range that we've been in since Friday afternoon. There's no reason we can't squeeze all the way back up to, above the VWAP and continue through highs. But, I don't have a long setup down here. I don't have anything to do. We're not selling the VWAP right now because this has been very choppy inside this range that we've been in for the whole day so far. And I am respecting, because of that larger context we talked about earlier, Friday's low from the Globex, but from the nightly open as well as into the afternoon session around the 28,100 level. Still, every level is the lows of today so far, so it's a level to be respected from last week. Wish these trading view volume footprint bars were a little bit nicer. About 300 contracts trading and the first pop up there. The level to hold about right down to this 28,100 area. See your point of control for the last few bars and a decent volume. We're basically, almost 2,000 contracts that traded down here. And now you start to kind of reverse and cup and handle it, right? This probably should squeeze back to the VWAP at least to get resistance. I'm not, trying to call every ebb and flow in the market, but contextually we're trying to come up with a narrative that participation is producing alongside the model we are watching. But so far, the market's kind of, squeezing right back up into that VWAP. Minute overview range is still not moving, so I'm not. I have a trades set up, per se, myself, and I'm taking right now. Or that. But out there, the Forcesweep. Well, it's, I will say, I think it's going back to the view up here on the test. Let's see, probably a few hundred contracts trade, expanding this next handle higher. Let's see. Reading volume footprints and participation in the market by, our footprint candles and order flow. It's all the same as reading price. You just have to be objective and read what you see and try not to predict what you see, right? There's a distinct difference in those two things.
Too scared to be lonely. No one's safe from the reaper. Not a saint nor a sinner. Rage under my skin, slowly descending to madness. Let it spread like a...
Barcelona didn't push higher. Attempt to break it was kind of weak. Then you had a nice push higher. Attempt to break out was weak. Then you had a squeeze lower against probably this buyer. That was pretty strong. Just now arguably reversing a little bit. Expanded that range. Discounting the opening 1 minute. Let's see what happens, folks. You don't get a nice push up into the VWAP, we'll probably head in lower.
For your life, cause it might get hideous. Why so serious?
But it actually, at this point, I'm almost anticipating one of those really big candles up or down. Not in 1 minute, but worth it. 29,300, carried down 29,100. One way or the other here. Gonna be big and painful. For one side, we're really seeing it feels like. GVD has been getting hit hard here. Definitely a commitment coming in from the sell side. That's rather strong, actually, kind of reversal in the day. You easily take it from at one point we were at positive 428, now we're at negative 490. The book has built 3 more bearish or, have more sell side pressure than the long side right now. Below the VWAP, all these other things, not a great look in the short term for the longs. So wait for that 10-minute opening range break to make a decision on what direction the orb went and which way it gives us a bias for trading the VWAP. Well, I'll tell you what, this doesn't seem like it wants to go higher right now, that's for sure. It's looking like it's gonna try to flush that low. I mean, CBD just keeps building, the book keeps building, volume down here just waning a little bit, but it's not, we're still making progress lower. It's not a very bullish looking tape right now. Obviously coming down into the area in the chart that there was a significant buyer on the day at the open, but part of me says that type of person and all that opening volume, it is maybe now the target for a move lower, but we shall see. Not but for us to determine, it's for us to watch, read, and let the market decide.
Who draws the line between forgery and feeling inspired? Who defines derivative versus being admired? Who decides what original means? Who aspires and knows the wannabes? Upon the shoulders of giants, I've got a long way to drop. I'll never get here on my own. See the view from the top. If everything's a remix of everything that has been, then let me just go back to my laptop, take a band on track that I cooked on. Maybe you'll hear Skrillex, some Netica, and some Imogen. Talk wacko, but I'm trying to get back, it just seems fair. Who draws the line between innovation and tried and true? Who's to say what's reiteration and what is new? Who decides what original means? Who aspires and knows the wannabes? Upon the shoulders of giants, I've got a long way to drop. Oh, I'll never get here on my own.
Well, there goes some form of a push lower. And let's see if they just take out the lows of the day on this.
Upon the shoulders of giants, I've got a long way to drop. Oh, I'll never get here on my own.
Well. That original discussion about Big Liar failed to get plowed through, and now they're getting squeezed is starting to become the narrative. Or no, we'll see. I am cautious, but we are below Friday's session BWAP. From below today's session BWAP will break the opening range lower. Really is no reason not to take the short today. CBD has absolutely crushed. I mean, you're almost doubled up with the highest point of the day, right? So those show you sellers are taking control of the tape in the near term. Definitely a clear trend lower, from highs of the day. In fact, right, it's just been swinging up lower lows and lower highs at this point. So yeah, notice I've tried to change the stream a little bit more from this straight hardcore Forcesweep to try to talk about the nuances and the way markets move. Hopefully you guys are enjoying that change. Gives us something to talk about. What did everybody do with their weekend? How about that? But Chattanooga was awesome and fun. The May opening range breaks down there at the 28,110 area. It looks like we're coming in to try to do that here. I would be very shocked if this is a tag. And then more reverse completely end the day type thing. Which means I am going to be looking for the view up to trade. After we break the lead has been building up to almost 1,000 cars. The downside looks like sellers are in control. They definitely squeezed out the buyers that were up there on the view up and above the up earlier today. You know, now the people who start buying down here are going to be probably caught off sides for them to move back into the view up. That gets us a Forcesweep setup, so we'll see. That's pretty cool. Bartending your friend's birthday. I have the utmost respect for the service industry for starters. And I always befriended the bartender. Like, people underestimate bartenders. Obviously, you serve a very good table at any restaurant, concierge, or the front desk at a hotel. People underestimate how much those folks can change and improve your experience wherever you are. It's all about knowing how to treat people with respect, decency, and sometimes have a mutual understanding of how to get the bar back kickback, which I had an understanding with many bartender friends that they would, gosh, I wish I was just still young and exciting. But what we would do is we'd go out like any Friday, Saturday, whatever, or any day of the week, whatever, you know, I was young and actually, you know, now what? And I would befriend every bartender. Not every, but certainly I did really close with a bartender or two at every single location, and eventually the manager too, because they all have some kind of comp that they can hand out, right? And there was a mutual understanding that if you comped me my bill pretty much entirely or down to like $20, I was then going to write you a very generous tip. Pretty much the rest of the bill in tip in your pocket. And that understanding was had with numerous locations and bartenders around the city for me, and really governed my soulful life for a good chunk of my 20s. You'd walk to go place, everyone knows your name, behind the bar, right? Then suddenly everyone in the place knows your name. Another little fun tidbit and thing everyone should do: carry $2 bills. And tipping in a $2 bill, even if you leave more than just the two, having a $2 bill in there makes you memorable. You just do the thing no one else does. I guarantee you tip in $2 bills, the next time you come back to that establishment, that person will remember you. Even if it's only a $2 tip, or like, you know, something small, like, you know, busboys holding the door, you know, something that's deservedly so for a $2 tip, right? And hopefully you're tipping your luggage handler or bellhops a little bit better than that, or your whatever you call it, from Doinkin with the food. Tipping pro tips. In SoCal, like, it is such a great way to meet people too. I can't tell you how many industry professionals I've worked with in other places, right? Like, it's when I came up like as a trader, right, decade ago now, that was, you know, young 20-something. Fuck this, we're talking 20 years ago now. I did tell you the number of people that were right bartended, the nights and whatever. Because the facts of the reality is right, like, you need something on the side so that you're not just relying on trading cash flows until you're truly, established. But burning that candle on both ends, being a bartender, though, I don't know, the networking, particularly in Chicago, the networking you could get done within finance and being a bartender was very, very strong. It's wild. And not just bartending, serving in certain locations and stuff too. Like, there were like, if you were a trader and you needed another job, right, you needed something to stabilize your income, there were lots of connections to get that, that stability other ways while you were getting yourself up and running, right? Because young nobody with no money, you're getting backed maybe by a firm or by somebody maybe you put together a little strap, right? Or you saved up a few thousand to actually join a prop, because a lot of times back then you had to put the actual capital up rather than, buy an account. And you needed something to stabilize yourself, right? Like, and other traders would get you into various other side hustles too, because this was all before the gig economy, right? You couldn't go just like work for Uber. You couldn't do DoorDash. Like, there was no app to whip up and just get a quick job if you needed it. But the networking that existed within the service industries and in trading and finance were very commingled, at least in the Chicago financial scene. Yep. And I promise you, every good gig and job I ever had was because of who I knew. Not to say I couldn't perform and do the job, but don't underestimate your social network. And it's a big reason I have a motto that I live and die by. Two things. One, your word is your bond, right? You've got to be a person of standing integrity in this world. That's it. Just mean what you say. And it's okay not to say anything at all, right? Silence is actually a smart thing to be comfortable with and to not have to have the answer, right? But be a person of integrity. Know what you know what you don't know. That's simple as that. The other piece is never burn bridges, only build them. And avoid, like the plague, people who carry torches, because they just light things on fire and burn things down. That level of toxicity and honestly just relationship destruction has no place in your life. And avoid people who, aren't builders. Is that network? It will carry you, support you, and in your worst times lift you back up. Anyway, market really hurried up even to its 29,100 support area and is just stopped around at 9. I really hope it'll get back up to the VWAP, because, I don't know, I guess I'm always hopeful for a trade, but maybe tonight's going to be a no trade night, because this is just going to be chopping sideways, and quite frankly, that's okay. I don't see anything to do. I have a hunch that we're going to break the lows of the day now, because we're just right there, and then maybe turn back to the VWAP, but I don't know, it's just, the session's been rather lackluster. Heck, an hour ago I would have told you we were about to break the highs, so good reason you should listen to anyone about predicting the market. Hey, and SoCal, if you're ever in Chicago, you let me know. And if anyone's ever in Chicago and you want to meet up I kind of want to do a meetup. Chicago's a terrible location, I feel like, because we have such broadened exposure here globally, right? Some of you from all over the world, but I think it would be cool to meet a lot of folks. Still waiting for that 10-minute opening range to break. Rather large 183-point opening range. But I'm pretty happy I've been respecting it. The only trade I arguably feel like I might have missed tonight was like this breakdown. Right? Like very clearly line in the sand up until that point in the day, right? And then they break it and it's like comes back up to test old resistance. It's support is resistance, and then down it goes. I also kind of felt like I missed a bit of a long there on this candle just because, like, I was totally expecting what I refer to as the forced push, which is market does a strong move in one direction, comes back down, it's below the VWAP, it's absorbed below the VWAP, and then you get this volume push that just squeezes the heck out of those buyers, or the sellers rather. And like there was maybe a trade in there I could have squeezed down on that push above the VWAP, but other than those two little setups tonight, and I don't really cover in this room, right, because we're talking about the Global Forcesweep, tonight's not a night that I see much else to do at this point in time. And the main reason is because we have set a high of the day and a low of the day, and we are still very much chopping inside of that range, even though we're trying to maybe take out those lows to some extent here, right? They're building pressure on support. Until support breaks, right? The idea is that it could just come right back up in the range we've been in all night and revert back to that mean, which I believe is all we were doing, right back to the VWAP every time here, until it wasn't, and they're trying to now expand the range lower. That's what it was. I remember out in LA. I don't know the next time I'll be in LA. Most of my friends have moved out of LA now, and they're down in like Orange County area, or one of them actually moved up north. He's a wine master. He worked for Justin, been here for a while. Now he's moved on to a smaller, more boutique vineyard up in winery. They used to travel a lot. My wife and I typically travel about twice a year. Now it involves kids. There used to be solo trips all over, but during COVID we traveled to Madden, South Carolina, Florida, Texas, St. Lucia. Where else do we go? Mexico. We were a COVID couple. I mean, we didn't get together. We were together before COVID, but we got like engaged and married during COVID. So we had to do the whole 50-person wedding shit. Which, side note, 50-person weddings are a blessing in disguise. You get to see everybody, hang out with everybody. Totally different experience than those giant multi-100-person weddings. All right, and this could be the push that does it tonight and breaks that opening range lower and actually produces a bit. Could produce that our Forcesweep. If we really tank lower though and don't give any form of a pullback, we are getting towards that time need where but sorry, got my one of my little ones yelling at me. What's up, bud? Now can you whisper for me? Can you be quiet? Okay, be quiet. All right. So we got, a solid hour here now of, before I would totally call it quits on the night. I definitely am going down to micros on whatever setup presents itself at this point because this is going to be a massive one, right? And it's also fighting the longer term trend that has been to make gonna be a really big one here. That's definitely an ore blower. Sorry, I was kind of muted there, and I was just basically talking about the ore blower. I don't know if you heard me talking to my little man. My little son is in the room with me now, but my apologies. Alright, so we got the opening brink lore. Dang. Oh, that was such a short, like, just because we bottled up there for so long, whatever. That's all good. We are going to be looking for that. Oh. Move back into the VWAP. We're down there. A huge one at this point. I mean, I preferably hate this. Holy crap. Really? 500? I'll tell you what, folks. I don't know. 100-point drop there through the low of the day. Not giving the bat. I don't know. Kind of feels like we're not going to get the setup we want. But that is just a big move. And now if we come all the way back to the VWAP, yeah, we're just better about 5s of the day for, to some extent, that. Right, like my risk will be the old highs of the day. You can't risk beyond that. It doesn't make sense. At this point, though, 1 second here, folks. So that's a new kind of rule for the stock here. Unless above high day, use the high day. Like, there's no sense in risking more than that. We come all the way back to the VWAP at this point. I mean, I don't know. But that is it's a technical setup, right? Like, can't ignore that, but I know I also have terrible feelings about this trade. Like to trying to not be, subjective, but dang. Now, I mean, you're fighting that 15-minute candle? Yikes. Do we just get news? That's a big question here.
what you feel in your heart and your soul. There's nothing I would take for granted. With me, we'll make it through. It's two hearts to fix heartbreak. We grew apart, I made a mistake, but I'll try to make it up to you, my darling. Worship me, I control the air. Worship me, my forgiveness sets you free. Worship me, I control the air you breathe. Worship me, my forgiveness sets you free. Just don't say another word. These thoughts you've imagined aren't real, aren't adding up. You fetched your ideas from nowhere, all from another world. Your logic's impaired, your full picture is cropped. Cause we both know one day they're just gonna try again. Without doubt, might say if all's gonna mend. We both know that one day the sun's gonna rise again. So don't bow for our sake, cause this ain't the end. We both know that one day the sun's gonna rise again. So don't bow for our sake.
This one's so big, I think you would be hard-pressed not to just, kind of wait for it to trade, right? To
One day the sun's gonna rise again. So don't pout
Like a comet in the sky. I promise you this, as long as you're looking, you'll see the signs. Just for a moment, a flash of light, you'll never forget. I heard you crying aloud, and a part of me cried with you. I finally see why all the meteors fall out of you. Can't escape from this pressure inside you, but tonight the stars align. When the cracks start to let your own light through, I'll be there to help you shine.
Definitely shaping up to be one of those nights where this is gonna be a one to watch. Use my pros. This is the one I would force, right? A 685 pick target. Effectively 170 points. Risking 100 points. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy. Crazy, but
I don't wanna know the truth if it brings me solitude. I'm drowning into lies from you, but I can't breathe without you in my eyes. I see you right all the time. I'm holding on to what is there is nothing you can do, but it's a dangerous game for me to lose. I see you right all the time. I'm holding on to what
You'll never love me like you love JT back in '03. Up on MTV on a stage wearing shoes made of diamonds, singing songs about you like a siren. No, I won't be what you seem to need, 'cause I don't see what you seem to see. Ain't got troops in a crowd all united, ain't got you screaming loud and excited. I can't ever be the backstreet boy you want me to. I just can't measure up, no, not in sync with the fashion.
Well, folks, I'm gonna go ahead and go out on a limb and say that the Forcesweep is probably not gonna happen tonight. If we check out this low, I feel like we're just getting the fun run of the view up.
Nikes in my hair ain't spiky, and we both know that I can't be your backstreet boy. You'll never want me like you want CDs from the 90s, like you want Mac Clean, and I can't say
Okay,
things I don't want it that way. You seem stuck in the decade that you were born. Open one day and wake up on a tour bus headed to Rome for a Coliseum concert with
so if I was to guess what kind of level I've traded here, it's probably been an anchor to be WAP. You know, from highs of the day. No, maybe the side end, like the high that started it all with the back. But unfortunately, tonight is not looking like it's going to be a Forcesweep type night. I mean, I'm going to watch this for a little bit longer, but this is usually about the time of the night where if the narrative in the price action we were seeing didn't develop into the setup we wanted, it's usually best to walk away. Ironically, the short, you know, in spirit has been winning, right? You know, the opening range broke lower. I feel, I don't know, selling just the break of the opening range because of how it was the lows basically from like the New York Open and then, you know, lows into the Friday close. That's just a silly read, and then lows of today so far. Yeah, well, at the opening range low. That's a silly reason just to be a short seller and just deal with that momentum. But boy, wasn't that the reason today. Yeah. They easily come all the way back up into the VWAP. The VWAP drop down, but the fact that we broke that opening range lower and then the swing anchored VWAP from the high of that swing, and we're talking about like the last swing, it was above the VWAP, right? This is the leg lower that hasn't. This leg lower was all part of one impulsive wave, right? You had the opening move, then you had a correction lower, an attempt to then go higher, failed auction, honestly, right? So you had your opening move, a retracement of that opening move into the VWAP, and a little bit of a press below, a failed auction higher to not take out highs of the day, and then you began basically a impulsive move, or the kind of the real move for the day that expanded your range lower. And the market already rallied back up into a mean reversion and has sold off, and arguably is probably going to go take out lows of the day here. If we tag lows of the day, certainly I'm not going to be touching anything. It's just going to be no trade here first night. And the market traded that anchored VWAP of that impulsive swing. So this is a type of setup I would look at, like in Bitcoin, for example, or any other market, right? Like anchoring a VWAP from this high and then being a seller into it makes sense in terms of that impulsivity and that swing. And there's a new mode of the day, guys. So for me, that's it. I am done for the night. Not going to take any trades here. Just going to let sleeping dogs lie. Unfortunately, they just did not come up to our, after that impulsive wave that effectively broke the opening range lower, just like we wanted to. They sold off from the anchor VWAP off that high, not the session anchor VWAP. Down to new low of the day. I had no means of getting in there. I was watching that level. We'll talk about it more. I haven't developed the reason why you look at that versus the full session VWAP, but like, the crux of the system is range expansion, mean reversion to a new follower high, right? Like, they all happen to just didn't give us an entry. So, well, that being said, everybody, I hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. I'm sorry we didn't get a setup, but I will be back with you tomorrow for the New York session. We're going to be trying to see if Monday session doesn't bring us any good opportunities here. And of course, tomorrow evening for another Globex Open. I'm the Sith Trader. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Remember, trading features involves risk and is not suitable for everyone. Everything you saw here today was just my own opinion and not trading advice. Have a great night, everybody, and we'll be back with you as price action develops.